Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're gonna talk about Sigma Autofocus Cine Lens. So let's dive deep into it. So this Cine lens, be mindful, cinema lenses generally never come with autofocus. Not only that, cinema camera does not have autofocus, the lenses are not supposed to have autofocus simply because there is a person controlling the look and feel, the speed and movement, all of that. So it's odd that this company is trying to bring cinema glass with next generation autofocus. So it's a new gamble. Now, what does cinema mean? Cinema simply means there is a certain level of optical quality. For example, you go into any brand, Sony, Nikon, Canon, they generally have a lens and then they have D lens. For example, in Canon series, it's red ring lenses. In Nikon, it's golden ring. And in case of Sony, it's G Master series lenses. So cinema lenses is the best of the best. Now, what does that mean? That simply means cinema lens has some constraint removed from them, specifically size and weight. They do not care about it. For example, when you're making a lens like 24x70 f2.8 Holy Trinity lens, photographic lens, the whole constraint is make it as light as possible. Like G Master 2 that I have, it's very lightweight, and that was the very critical selling point. It's light. Now, when you're making cinema lens, weight does not matter. You're like, hey, this is the same lens, same aspect ratio, projection area, as in like a full frame, and same millimeter, same aperture also, f2.8 will be huge, bonkersly huge and heavy. Because again, light does not like to be contorted. So if you have a glass diameter that is this big and you are slowly, gently folding the light, great. If you're taking tiny glass and you're like, yeah, light would be distorted. Now you can correct it, but again, every correction adds another type of distortion. So physics wise, having too many glass elements and trying to contort light is always a garbage output. Cinema lenses have freedom from this. It's like, no, we understand we want quality. So for that reason, thou shall use bigger elements. Thou shall give breathing room. That improves the optical quality on physics level. You cannot cheat it. You cannot bypass it. Now, you might say that's only a slight gain. And again, modern glass formulas are good enough that the gains are like tiny and tiny, but it's still there. Now, if you're projecting it into 200-inch screen, it's like, shut up, take money. And here's another part. Because you most likely, or in 100% of scenario, you will be clicking scenes, shots with multiple lenses. You have a way of balancing the lenses. For example, film stock, this is older days, film stock could not change the ISO, because again, if you change like, okay, I'm gonna take one shot in 1600, another same scene, different place where I have to zoom in, I'm gonna use 3600 ISO film stock, it would look bonkersly different. So unless you want that, you don't want to have that because of your equipment. So a new measurement was created, which was t-stop. So f-stop is input to output ratio. Basically, what is your input funnel and what is the output projection. So that ratio is the f-stop. That's why it's a number, not a unit. Basically, it's not 35 millimeter. It's a number, f2.8. Output, basically input and output projection divided each other, tada. So that gives you the ratio. However, glasses are not perfect. That's why I said, like, if any Tom Dick and say, oh, IMAX has like 18K. Nah, stupid. Nah. Glass does not allow that. Glass, that's why all Hubble telescope, or if you look into James Webb Space Telescope, there is not even glass in it. All of it is mirror, because if you have to go through it, it will lose intensity. And there lies the t-stop. For example, if you send 100 watts of light, the output would be 90 watts. And that's the whole essence. So whenever you are seeing T 2.0, that simply means f-stop wise is generally bit above that. So let's say hyper optimum quality glass, that means it could be f-stop 2. This is 2.0, so I would say f-stop would be 1.8. But again, and that's why even the aperture ring or iris in these scenarios, they are always rated with T. So the idea is, if you are switching lenses, you make sure, if you're like, hey, I'm happy with this base ISO setting, everything is dandy, you look at into your lens. Your lens says like, I'm at t-stop 3.2. You should be able to swap with any other lens that says t-stop 3.2. It should look exactly the same brightness. So you do not need to change lighting because you swapped lenses. So t-stops matter. And again, all lenses have t-stops. Company just does not share it. So this cinema, they will always say that photo lenses, they also have that, because again, physics, it always is there. It's just that it's not measured, or I'm pretty sure company measuring it is just they are not sharing it. So T-stop 2.0 and T-stop 3.2, there are two lenses available on this. So these are constant aperture. They are bright actually. T2 and T3.2, even though 3.2 might look low, no, it's T-stop. It's good. It's a bright. And you can match brightness with other system. However, because again, bigger, physical volume, bigger everything, it's gonna cost more money. And on top of that, they're not gonna sell as many as a photographic system. So glass cost is high, $3,400. This puppy is expensive. Like, you can get quality telephoto lens from all manufacturers for this sort of price. And again, it will have far higher diversity and flexibility compared to this. 3.2 lakhs to 4 lakh lenses, like, damn. It's available for two mounts, Sony E mount and L mount alliance, and full frame coverage. But be mindful, this is heavy. You're not gonna go into a wedding and handhold this unless you have like Arnold Schwarzenegger level hands. So what about the specification? Well, two of these puppies are introduced, 28 to 45. Again, I have no idea why it's not 24, but it is what it is. Today, very bright. Be mindful, this is targeting replacing prime lenses. So if you have prime lenses of those categories, you're like, okay, just put this, forget about it. T2, very bright, prime-like system, heavy as hell, 1.2 kg, not grams, kg. It's heavy. But again, cinema lens, big lenses, less contortion, more physical room. Yeah, it kind of needs it. Then you have 28 to 105, this puppy. That is T3, still bright, but not that bright. And I'm pretty sure it has the same aperture of mathematical shallow depth of field of 2.8. So it's kind of bright, but again, range is very limited. 3.75x, it's like not that great. Again, 1.3 kg, supposed to be heavy, meaning they are not supposing, like, you can mount it on a tiny camera, like even my A7 Mark V, but you're supposed to, like, literally there are screw holes on the lens body for this exact reason. You're supposed to mount the lens. Lens is heavier than the body, so you have to do that. Now, because it's a cinema system, they are trusting these marking. All cinema lenses take this marking seriously, and I mean seriously, as in, like, there will be another body marking where is the sensor. You're supposed to take a tape measure, draw out, like, let's say 3 feet, 4 feet, and you can put another tape there, and like the lens should be focused. That's how serious it is. So the marking is there. Now, be mindful, photographic lenses, they are designed to be snappy. They're snappy. So penalty of that is they do not want too much travel. They want, like, so infinity to close focus, it's barely 90 degrees. You barely have to move at 90 degrees. Some scenarios, it's even less. It's like 45. It's like, whee, whee, whee. So it's super fast. Penalty, it does not give you control. So if you have a follow focus, even if it's mechanically coupled and it's like actual one-to-one translation, issue is that there is not enough room. Now in cinema, they are like, easy, brother. So you are starting at 180 degree, as in, like, that much room is there, and better systems can go as high as like almost 300 degrees. I don't think anyone has multiple rotation, but because again, the scale will not work. So generally you can go to 300 degrees. This has 200, which again is still classified as long travel, meaning the rating in the scales, you can actually set like infinity, 3 inches, 2 inches, and like you have enough room where you can move. So if you have two person having a conversation, which is common in cinema, and you want to pull focus and push focus on one on another, you have enough room. It's not like t. It's like you want that, you desire that. So that's a good thing. And manual zoom, again, this is not for broadcast, so they does not have powered zoom. Aperture, which again in cinema industry is called iris ring, that is also there, but which again, if you are coming from any photo lens, that's a normal thing. Aperture, again, in cinema it's physically coupled. Here it's not coupled, but that does not bother you. Like, even my G Master 2 has the ability to either have smooth aperture, which again a requirement of cinema industry, or clicky if you want like quick setups. That is also there. And it has a mode where you just snap it to A button. Where is the A? Yeah, I keep forgetting where the heck it's written. Oh, T-stop to you go to next, you keep pushing it, it will go to A. And once you go to A, here you can see. So once you go to basically auto mode, it will override the ring, so to say, because again, ring is just an electrical encoder. It's not physically coupling the disc. So aperture is there, manual mode and auto mode. So that part is almost like all modern red ring camera lenses and Sony G Master 2 lenses. It's a normal thing. Aperture, basically the long travel, that is rare. Unless you buy into video series lenses, the travel will not be there. Now the risky part, autofocus, because again, cinema is expecting this. Basically, if I'm rotating, the scale should match up and the lens should be physically coupled, so everything is following correctly. So they are taking that risk. And again, they are taking double risk. Not only, oh, I have autofocus, as in like there is a motor. No. It's a drive-by-wire, which is hated. Why it's hated? Panasonic and Olympus started to brought this out in the early days. Like if you had bought DSLR, I had old DSLR. If you autofocus, you'll see literally lens rotating the basically mechanism. It will actually rotate because the motor was driving it. Now it worked, but it was slow, fundamentally slow. So to improve speed and FPS, we went into these puppy, linear motion. Basically, there is no corkscrew that you are rotating and it's physically moving it. So that decoupling allowed these puppy to become very fast, lightning fast. Like nowadays, you can just buy a Sony camera that can do 120 autofocus adjustment per second. That's how fast these can move and adjust. They are good. But they are decoupled. There is no mechanism where like, okay, I'm setting the scale to 3 foot and it will only move this much, which translates to 3 foot. No, you move it, there is electrical signal, then it goes through translation and then it gets affected. So it's a very big risk. People hate this. And again, the early attempts were horrendous. Even in this, like you cannot just like, okay, I want this much travel to always give me that. No, it's like, it takes acceleration. Who is the idiot who came up with that? But some idiot did that. Basically, the scale, when you're rotating it, if you rotate it fast, it will go from here to here. And if you are like, rotating it slow, it's like here to here. It's like, why? Why? It's supposed to be 5 degrees translates to this much. Let's say 5 degrees per foot, right? That should be it. 5 degrees per foot, the end. Does not matter how fast or slow you're doing it. Because again, a physically coupled device, that's how they will move. So they are using absolute encoder. Absolute encoders are a bit more expensive than relative encoder. Like your mouse is a relative encoder. It knows how much you have moved. It does not know where it is. It just knows +5 in X, +3 in Y, or -3. And that's the only thing. It just knows from last position. It's what we call relative encoder. Absolute encoder is no, I'm here in the table. That's what it means. So it's like, no, I'm 12 degree, I'm 15 degree. And yes, even if you remove the battery and plug it back in, it will pick up, no, I'm literally at this position. So absolute encoder 200. Okay, that gives you a physical readout of the scale. So computer get it. They just have to sync that readout with this puppy. Now, can it be done? Of course, doing it is easy. Doing it well, that's the hard part. So in autofocus mode, let's say you have this lens plonked into your camera, you set it to autofocus, what happens? Even if you rotate the ring, it just ignores it. It's like encoder is sending a signal, I am in auto mode, reject input. Cool, awesome, normal. But what about manual focus? Here's the deal. If you go into manual focus, because it has a scale on the ring, it has to physically move these things to override it. As in, like, let's just say you're like, okay, I'm gonna autofocus lock in and then I'm gonna fine tune. No, you can't do that. The moment you switch to manual focus, it will just jump. It will just like low, because again, it has to match the scale. So that will happen. Either autofocus or manual focus. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna use autofocus and then I'm gonna like fine tune with it. There used to be some old cameras, like I have seen one of my friend had a Nikon lens. It had auto/manual, meaning you can set it to auto, and if you rotated it, even though motor was physically rotating the barrel, there was a clutch. So it will bypass it. It will physically not destroy the motor or the lens. That I was expecting that in this, but like this is completely, which again, I understand. Modern autofocus needs fast lens element. This is faster than any sort of corkscrew mechanism you can do. So it's a system, but again, they have to make sure the ring and the actuator must remain in sync speed. I move it very fast. Go from basically move it 3 feet. It should be able to go 3 feet, only 3 feet, not 1 millimeter ahead, not 1 millimeter behind. Can it be done? That's what this company is betting on. Like, we have everything I'm talking about technically can be done in this system, other than the absolute encoder part. But if they have encoder, that's good enough. Now, can they physically pull it off? Yes, these lenses are so fast, even if it misses, like let's say encoder was moving, it started to give the signal, and again, there is inertia calculation into this. Inertia was like too fast, it's like it moved too fast, like okay, and then now the person is like, whew, slows down. This can again overshoot because it's not physically coupled. However, because this is so fast and light, it can literally pull back. It's like, oh, I got it. And because it can be done at super high speed, it will not show up in your footage that you misfocused. So it can be done. Again, physics-wise, it can be done. It's just that have they put enough elbow grease into it to achieve that old school feel? Because again, if it feels bad, they're just gonna take the lens, throw it. And again, these people are rich enough where these sort of things they can just throw away. It's like, nope, garbage equal throw it away. So autofocus is a big deal. How the heck they are incorporating that physical feel without any penalty, so to say. So what can we expect in the future? Well, here's the deal. People are getting more into content creation because again, all other fields are shrinking. So content creation is a exciting new era. And many circles will give you a lot of money if you have Pro Tools, and it's a must. For example, if you are doing corporate shoot, even if you can have a smaller camera equipment that will give tangibly better result, people will not pay you. And again, your primary job is to get paid, not to fight, not to change stereotype. It's like, hey, I can have a crappy giant lens with giant Magta box and giant rig and it gives me more money. Do it. Your job is to get paid, not to fight. So in many scenarios, showing up with a lens that looks like serious and big and premium, even if quality is poop, you will get paid. So that's the thing. And again, there is a tangible benefit. It has very low focus breathing. Again, physical room, lens moving and all that. There are certain benefit of that. Not like, oh, I'm digitally gonna crop it. What if you don't? What if you don't? What if your lens was good? Lens is good. And again, bright. It's bright. It's almost f1.8 kind of bright. And I mean, mathematically bright. 2.0. So it's bright. And modern autofocus, specifically after 2025, and again, I'm being a bit too tight, generally anything after 2020, they have control. Meaning we are not in an era where it's like, wah, wah. We are in an era where it's like you can literally mark faces. Like let's say you have a scene setup and you want focus to be there and pulled focus, like, you know, focus pulling that is done in normal, let's say over the shoulder shots. You can do that and you can literally have focus point A, focus point B, and you can mark it, save it, and you can also change how fast the camera moves, as in autofocus speed, slow, snappiness, high. All of those settings are available, and autofocus is reliable enough nowadays that it's like you can trust it. So especially if you want a slow, methodic system, it's like, we good, brother. We good. We good. We got this. And the idea of having this sort of equipment is, you have this equipment, you start with a low-end camera and you make up your money, and then you're like, okay, you have to go to cinema. And again, cinema cameras do not have autofocus. You're like, okay, it has a manual lens with a scale and everything you need and desire. So it's a new approach. And the fact that more and more people are trusting autofocus. Although I do not expect autofocus sensor to make into cinema grade, because again, why would you throw away job of a focus puller? Because again, there is an inherent art to it. And again, people pay for art. Heck, we literally project the film back into negatives just so we can get the noise. So ET is about feel and look. So I don't think this will become a replacement, but I can easily see this becoming a new niche, so to say. So this was my presentation on this autofocus in a cinema lens. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike. Press it twice to show me extra disappointment. If you enjoyed it, click the hype button. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.